Alright, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Kangaroothless, and I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary. This is going to be a Zerg versus Terran on the map Xel'Naga Caverns. And let me go ahead and introduce the players, because I know I've been bringing this guy up a lot in my previous casts. In the top right, we have aXa as the Red Zerg. He is a Master Zerg player, I believe, from France, and he has this brand new build out. It's where you basically focus a lot on Zerglings and upgrades, very little to do with Banelings. And let me go ahead and get his opponent here. The blue Terran in the bottom left will be RagequitTMO as the blue Terran. So back to aXa's idea of how you should play Terran versus Zerg. Basically get army early and expand under the safety of the army. And you know, he says that Zerglings aren't really the strongest close to your base when you keep them in your base, and that's true because then you can have tanks siege up outside right here, and there's not much they can do. They're already under pressure. If you lose the push, you lose the game because then he just takes out your expansion. But let's say you want to bring your Zerglings to be aggressive. Well, you can't really push into Terran because they just turtle and they have tanks sieged here and you just can't break that wall. So where are Zerglings the strongest in the game? They're actually strongest in the center of the map, where Terran is least likely to siege up and is less likely to expect any sort of aggression. And I feel like that's kind of what the metagame for Terran versus Zerg has been. Zergs have been sitting in their base, trying to macro up, drone, you know, because we all watch Idra, and we know that when you get that economy up and rolling, you can just steamroll your opponent. But the problem is, if you don't get that economy going, well, it makes no difference. If you can't get that economy going, if you can't survive the early game, there's no way you're going to make it to the late game where it will matter when you can just steamroll your opponent. So it looks like this drone actually is going to get this SCV, so big win for aXa. He is going to scout that Terran has gone one gas and one barracks, so you can expect blue flame Hellions out of this, or just pure old Hellions. We will see. This definitely says factory build. Terran is expecting Zerg to fast expand, but actually aXa likes to go a different build. He has a certain build for every map except Xel'Naga Caverns, so he has a specific build for Xel'Naga Caverns. It's 9 Overlord, 12 Scouting Drone, 14 Extractor, 100 gas for speed, then pull off drones, and 14-18 pull. So 14-14, and then I think he makes, yeah, at 18 supply he makes all the wings that he can. So it looks like these first two eggs here will be Zerglings to shoo away this SCV. Terran is going to realize that he has no business being there anymore, and immediately afterwards it looks like we're at 21 supply. He's going to expand, and this is pretty much your speed league expand. He's got plenty of minerals for that, and he will go ahead and throw down that expansion. So Zerg is starting on his Millibog boost, has his first queen out, has his second hatchery on the way, and Zerglings are immediately running across the map. Now that's what he's doing here with his lings. One ling at that watchtower, one ling I would assume at this watchtower, and these other lings are going to push this themselves, I assume, right up here, maybe poke up the ramp and see what Terran is making. This Overlord has dropped by the bottom and it's actually moving its way over here. This is actually a really good spot for Overlords to move. He's going to poke up here, he's going to see the reactor on the barracks, he's going to see a lift, and that's pretty much how you can assume that your opponent is going to go Hellions. He makes a reactor at the front, and then makes Hellions in the back there, and just to confirm his suspicions that factory will go ahead and land, speed does finish, and aXa will go ahead and head on out. Let's go ahead and look at the income tab. Now he went with a speedling expand, but he still has 23 harvesters. He is up by 3 to his opponent. And notice here, he's pulled all of his drones off of gas. He says here, let's see, once you have your 100 for speed, you pull all your drones off of gas and you focus really on lots of minerals. So since he knows that Hellions are coming, he's going to go ahead and throw down a third hatchery. So a macro hatchery already. When your natural is delayed, you're generally going to have a lot of mineral buildup, so it's actually a really good idea to go ahead and throw down your macro hatchery. Then you can bring the queen in here and continue the block off, or maybe make an evolution chamber. He's got his spines pretty well positioned. There are 2 Hellions out on the map to clear the Xel'Naga watchtowers, and it looks like 2 more will be on their way. Terran looks like he wants to expand. He is building his command center and throwing down a bunker at the ramp. So 27 to 22, and let's wait and see how he deals with this harass. This is pretty good Sim City right here. This drone is getting a little bit caught up, and he needs to make an evolution chamber right there. There he goes, making the evolution chamber. The wall off is complete, so these Hellions are going to come in here and see if they can do any sort of harass, but they're immediately going to get met by the spine crawler with the queen. They're only able to get 1 kill in, and then spine crawlers can't even make their way in there. So the Hellions are trapped. They will be forced to retreat and head back home. So meanwhile, 35 to 24 harvesters. aXa feels pretty confident that he can drone up because of this nice SimCity build and because his opponent went Hellions. There won't be any push coming for a couple of minutes. Not for a while, at least. Looks like he wanted to start that +1, but he needs to put his drones back on gas. It looks like, does he only have 1, 2? He only has 2 drones on gas here. And I thought I set myself to busy. That guy needs to get the hint that I don't want to be in your party. Guy irritates me. Terran's going to go ahead and expand, not expand, but yeah, he is going to expand. He's going to go ahead and throw down his SCVs here. He's going to scan Zerg's natural and see not much. Looks like aXa's a little bit supply locked. He's producing 2 more Overlords. Supply is pretty even, 54 to 51. aXa is hanging out in his base, what a lot of Zergs like to do. The Zergling is going to come in here and scout what Terran is up to. It looks like he has expanded. And behind this, Terran will most likely be going siege tanks. So we see 1 tank on the way. I don't think he has siege yet. He'll need to get a little bit more gas. And yes, there he goes, grabbing a 2nd refinery. You definitely need that if you want to start your siege stage production. And making another tank. He's going to go for early siege tanks in lieu of getting fast siege. And I can agree with this. As long as you have enough Marines here to buffer for the tanks, they won't be able to do very much. These Hellions are going to try and do a run by here, but nice positioning by the Overlord. aXa has it pretty much scouted out. So the Hellions are going to have to think twice before running in here to poke. They see that there's still a spine crawler there. And this is all walled off. There's no way he can get through. So instead of wasting these Hellions, the Terran is wisely going to back away. Meanwhile, a 3rd going down for aXa here. This is a really nice expansion to get. It doesn't work so well, I think, when Terran goes for drops and scouts it. If this is scouted, it's really hard to maintain, and you're going to have to spend a lot on defense here, a lot of spine crawlers. But let's look at the production tab, 42 Zerglings. So when did he start switching over to Zergling production? About 47 harvesters in. He's just spamming Zerglings here. He's got his +1/+1 on the way. Layer is on the way as well. He's on 2 gas, but look how many Zerglings are out on the field. We have 71 Zerglings. This is so many Zerglings. But let's think about it. At this point in time in the game, 10.5 minutes, you're generally trying to get to that fast spire. You generally have a couple of banelings out. And you generally don't have 83 Zerglings out on the field. But this is what you can do with this kind of build. You're delaying your 3rd and 4th gas. Delaying your tech a little bit because Terrans are so happy to go for this very nasty kind of mid-game push. Looks like Zerglings are going to try to tear down the rocks here. They do need to back off. And they will get the surround. Poor control by, what's his face? What is your face? RagequitTMO. I'm not sure what TMO. What is TMO? Tick me off. Ragequit, tick me off. Okay, that's what it means. Let's go back to the production tab. He started on his +2. +1 is almost done with his Carapace, but the +2 attack is on the way, so we have a fast +1/+1. And as well, he's on 3 bases. These are going to go up and be very nicely saturated soon. And meanwhile, let's go ahead and commend aXa on his nice creep spread here. He's pretty much taken up his half of the map. This is really nice. And this is what you do with your extra queen. You just go ahead and you spread creep with her. And this makes pushes for Terran a lot harder. Meanwhile, it looks like Terran has a sizable force coming out here. But, oh no, he's going to get caught out in the middle of the field. And he's not going to have time to siege. He's going to lose all of his units trying to skim, trying to focus fire with the siege tanks. But there are no banelings here. No banelings here. He cleans up everything. Terran cannot feel good about this. More Zerglings streaming in. This push has been picked off. And Terran thinks, oh, I take this watchtower, I see nothing here, I can just go and attack. Not correct. With aXa's build, you're actually in a world of hurt if you try to attack. aXa's going to poke in here with a couple of Zerglings, but will be fended off. Terran looks like he wants to go ahead and take his 3rd, grabbing his 3rd and 4th gas. And on the production tab, looks like he's going for those +1 attack infantry weapons. And he's already walled this off with another engineering bay. Great way to prevent Ling run-bys for newer Terrans out there. Meanwhile, this is a good timing. 13 minutes into the game, aXa has gone for Infestation Pit and Spire. So it looks like he will either go for Fast Hive. I would assume he goes for Fast Hive here. I think that is one of the other cornerstones of his builds. With a lot of his replays that I watched, they tend to last between 20 and 25 minutes. About the time that Tier 3 comes out for Zerg, it's generally 21 minutes. But if he gets a fast hive going and gets a nice, get some Broodlord production or some Ultralists, he says in his thread on TeamLiquid.net that he prefers Ultralists to Broodlords. And I'll show you guys why, I'll tell you guys why momentarily, maybe another time. But, okay, I'll go ahead and tell you now. He prefers Ultralists to Broodlords because with Broodlords, they're very slow, they're very susceptible to counterattacks, you can counter them with Vikings, right, or Ghosts. So they're really hard to maintain, really hard to control, and they're just slow. So if you want to break the siege that Terran likes to do about this point in time and just siege up and wait for that nasty push. Uh-oh, hold that thought. Looks like a bunch of Zerglings are going to run and stream in here. Terran was trying to grab his third and left too many of his units back home, so now aXa's going to counterattack. And this is another part that is really nasty about this build. You can just counterattack so easily. Terran knows he's in trouble. It looks like he wants to go ahead and counter push, but that's not a lot of Marines. I think he's going to go ahead and try to deny his third. But we're looking here. He's losing so many workers. This is so bad. Now he has taken the gold, and he has denied the fourth. He thinks he's denied the third. I don't think he's even seen this yet, has he? He has not even scouted that aXa already has a third up. So Terran has got to think, I'm in good shape. Zerg went for a really strong mid-game push, and it failed. So now that he's on very few bases, I'm going to be very far ahead. Another thing I noticed about aXa's replays is that he likes to whittle down the tank numbers a lot, and he does that primarily with the Zerglings. You would think, well, how does that work? How do you take it down with Zerglings? Once again, the counterattack in the middle of the map. Generally, when Terran is not sieged up, it's the easiest way to just come in, run in, pick off his tanks, keep that tank number very low. If it gets to 15 or so, you're dead. You're doing something wrong. You have to be on tier 3. aXa is going to come in here with his Mutalisk and Infestors. Ultralist Cavern is on the way, as well as +2 Carapace. And I just feel like Terran has no idea what's coming his way. I think he's just so far behind at this point. Terran just has no clue. He is happily macroing away at his base. He's got to be thinking, man, I'm so far ahead right now. But he isn't. He's really far behind. Already starting to make Ghosts to counter the Infestors. And that's a decent idea in case a lot of Zergs recently have been going Mass Infestor, because it is a very, very strong unit. Be very happy when the patch comes out and they nerf Blue Flame Hellions and Infestors. Personally, I just thought Infestors were ruining Zerg versus Zerg. But anyways, let's go back to the game at hand. A lot of Mutalisks are on the way. It looks like we have 8, 10, 14 Mutalisks. They're going to come in here and start picking off Tech Labs and Reactors. This has got to be irritating for Terran. Terran cannot lose these add-ons this early. He just can't lose these add-ons. It just takes forever to get them back. So Terran's going to immediately have to start remating these add-ons. It's going to hurt tank and marine production. Immediately throwing down a bunch of turrets so that he will not be prone to Mutalisk harass anymore. But the Mutalisks have come in here and actually picked off another couple of tanks. So Terran is actually in a very nasty position. He doesn't have very many medevacs, just now starting on that reactor starport. So really late build to Terran. His tech's has been set so far back, he hasn't been able to get that nice ball of units that is the medevac, marine, and tank, maybe with a couple of Thors. Starting on Adrenal Glands, Chitin is plating for his Ultralists. 2 are out on the field, and this is going to be a very nasty push. A lot of Mutalisks are coming in here and decide, let's go ahead and pick off all these tanks. And the fewer tanks that Terran has, the easier it is to break the siege. So Terran's just been behind this entire game. There's been nothing really here to get him in the game. And it's really because he lost that first push and he did 0 damage to the economy. The Hellion Harass was shut down. That first push was just taken out right here, nice and cleanly. It looks like aXa is getting ready to move out. And will he go for this expansion here, or will he go for the main... Oh, he looks like he's going for the expansion. He's going for the Planetary Fortress. Planetary Fortresses are not very good against Ultralists. And he's just going to stream in here with all of his units and immediately start killing everything off. There goes the Planetary Fortress. And ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much the game. Terran cannot come back from this. Once you lose your Planetary Fortress, you're done. It's like we have a counterattack trying to do something, trying to make something happen, but RagequitTMO is going to have this shut down as well. These Marines are getting fungal. This game's pretty much over, and that just pretty much shows the build. I think with a lot of his replays, he focuses a lot on 4-base play. And that's really when Zergs are strongest at 4 base. Late Doors coming out, but it's just too late. There's nothing that Terran can do in this situation. He is dead in the water. So Ultra's coming in here, cleaning up everything. These two dropships are going to try and do something. It looks like they're heading out to do a counterattack. And Terran has to be scratching his head, thinking, how did I lose that? So here we go, what did I do wrong? Terran is so confused. He's wondering how he lost that, because he thinks I denied the third, but he didn't. What actually ended up happening was he denied the fourth going up. And aXa says right here, you lose the first push as Terran against this kind of playstyle, and you lose the game. There's no way for you to come back. So RagequitTMO saying, I prevented your third, but that's not actually what happened. Terran's pretty much done for. aXa is on 4 base. And look at how many minerals and gas he has. That is so much. He's already maxed out again. Terran's at 37 supply. Oh, goodness. So that's going to be the game right there. RagequitTMO will GG, and that is the introductory game that I wanted to show you guys in this cast for aXa's Zerg versus Terran build. I'm going to bring you more, and I guarantee you they will be a little bit less one-sided. But I just want to go ahead and give you guys an introduction to how the build works. So expect more to come in the future, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.